Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, thank you very much. Yeah. We are going to see the 7.14, which is one of the most important slokas in this entire chapter. Every chapter has some special 2 or 3 slokas which are very important, especially in this chapter. But every devotee's worry is how to come out of Maya. On this verse, Krishna is telling how to come out of Maya. And further he is explaining who's coming out, who's not coming out, and how a pure devotee saves a person even if he's not surrendered. So he's giving the 7.14, very important verse, where he's telling that to come out of Maya, one has to surrender to him, Krishna. Okay. He's also explaining how it is very powerful, not so easy to overcome. So don't take it for granted that getting out of Maya is easy like that. Actually, it's very difficult. Krishna himself is telling it's very difficult. Only Krishna is out of Maya. Everybody is put into illusion. That is the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Even Brahma is put inside the illusion. But Krishna can take us out. That is this verse, okay? Krishna directly declaring how by surrendering unto Krishna we can just come out of Maya. Taivihi yesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mami vayi prapatyante mayam yetam tarantite. Translation is this energy of mind consisting of 3 modes of material nature, which actually means, because sometimes the Maya word is used in 2 circumstances. Okay, one is called Yogamaya, other is called Mahamaya. Now the Yogamaya is internal potency, Mahamaya is external potency. Typically Maya is forgetfulness of Krishna. So both in Mahamaya and Yogamaya, a kind of forgetfulness is there. But what it is? If you see spiritual world, Yashodamai, she forgets that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that she can handle him exactly like a small child, so that Krishna can enjoy her motherly affection fully. That is the forgetfulness about the supremacy of the Lord. And that happens by the will of Krishna. So when the Maya, when they are illusioned by the will of Krishna, it is considered Yoga Maya. But at the same time, if a living entity, for its own enjoyment, to separate, it wills to separate from Krishna. Krishna Buliya Bhogavan Chakare. Forgetting Krishna, I want to enjoy that kind of desire when the living entity has. He wants to forget Krishna by his own free will. Then it's Mahamaya. Mahamaya is the external energy of Krishna, who is representative of this entire material world. And she provides an environment. Even though there is no place without Krishna, she provides an environment where actually every living entity feels as if there's no God. And the main topic of discussion will be, does God exist? Is there God? There is a question of atheism. It's impossible to have atheism because absolutely everywhere Krishna is there. But she provides such an environment, and she's able to provide this because of the empowerment of Krishna. So the divine energy of mind. So he is telling divine energy. So there is a possibility. Mama Maya, Duratya. So the Mama Maya, there are two Mayas, spiritual and material. Now, in this verse, he is mentioning the material Maya. So in order to indicate that this divine energy of mind consisting of three modes of material nature. So in whichever Maya, the three modes of material nature is there. That means external energy. Rajaguna, Tamoguna and Sattoguna. That Maya is very, very difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me, they can, so he's also telling that how to cross it, cross beyond it very easily cross beyond it. Those who surrender unto Krishna. So surrendering unto Krishna is very, very important. Then only will be out of illusion. People think that by renouncing, if Mayavadi philosophers are impersonalist, for them, being out of Maya means detaching from the world. How much you'll run? You're already locked within the world. Even if you leave the family life and run to forest, there are trees. There are other yogis with whom you may pick up a fight, or you may pick up a relationship. There are many things. There are also materialistic things. So you're situated within the Durga, means the prison house. One corner of the prison house to another corner of the prison house, renouncing this prison and going to another prison. But anyway, you're running within in a particular cell, renouncing and going into another particular cell. But you're anyway within the universe, anyway within, not going anywhere. So Mayavadis misunderstand that Maya they don't have the concept of God, loving God, all this. So for them, hating the material world is all that is spiritual. Or getting out of the material world is the only thing. But that is not it. You have to enter into spiritual world and perform activities as a spirit soul, because spirit soul is a personality and he is very always active. So he requires activity. Okay. So surrendering unto Krishna, then you can cross. Not by hating material, you come out of Maya. I am not this Maya, I won't involve in Maya, I won't look at women, I won't touch money, I won't touch gold. Of course, having a detachment from the material world is not wrong, but that is not Krishna conscious. Having attachment to Krishna is Krishna consciousness. So, Krishna is giving this idea that surrendering unto Krishna, one can overcome. Yesterday itself, this was read by you, so I am just giving the explanation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has innumerable energies, unlimited energies. And these energies are also inconceivable. In Ishopanishad we saw. Inconceivable means you cannot even imagine how they can perform. Even sometimes Krishna is even surprised how they act, how they serve, how they act. So these energies are divine in nature. Although the living entities, all the energies are divine, even external energy is divine. As I told you yesterday, it is in the manifest form and unmanifest form. Not unmanifest into a single piece of chunk. And again, it manifests into many varieties in the universe. Anything which is coming out of Krishna is spiritual, because Krishna is spiritual. So Prabhupada in one place mentions that in one sense, everything is spiritual, including the material energy. Only thing is, it is temporary. The manifestation is temporary. She's not temporary. Manifestation is temporary. So although the living entity are part of his energies, and therefore they are divine, They are also spiritual, but they are coming in contact with the inferior nature, material energy. Their original superior power is covered. So what is that difference? Okay. The difference is the marginal energy is the Jada Prakriti. Jada Prakriti means inert matter. Matter is inert. It is not dynamic, it is static. The spirit soul is static, dynamic. And it's eternal, it's not temporary. Material manifestations are temporary. The spirit soul comes inside this and gets covered. And thinking itself to be the matter. Seriously thinking. For many lifetimes, he doesn't have an idea that he is the spirit soul. And is very seriously working on a platform, totally a false platform. So the being thus covered by material energy, one cannot possibly overcome its influence because everybody is thinking whom they are is based on the bodily platform. Everybody is so serious. So it's so powerful is Maya. Sometimes people think that just becoming attached to things are called Maya. No. Identifying first of all the basis, you misidentify yourself with the body. There itself it starts. Misidentifying yourself with the body. After that, anything which follows. Very strongly rooted idea. So her influence is very powerful. It's not easy to overcome. Even very great personalities are influenced by her. Like Brahma. Shiva also undergoes. So as previously stated, both the material and spiritual natures, being emanations from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are eternal. They are always permanent only. Only thing is material nature is temporarily manifested and unmanifested. The living entities belong to the eternal spiritual nature. We belong to Satsidananda nature. Not this Rajoguna, Tamaguna, Satvaguna nature. Modes of material nature is Rajoguna, Tamaguna, Satvaguna. So the living entities belong to eternal superior nature of the Lord. But we become contaminated by the inferior nature of matter. Their illusion is also eternal. So this is very important. Yesterday we were in this discussion.
Mataji, you have not shared the screen.
Oh Krishna, after this long you're telling how nicely I was explaining. Because I don't get to sleep in the daytime. I get up at morning 4:30. Until this moment, I don't have a bit of sleep. So I'm not in very clear conscious at night, 9 o'clock. Forgive me. You should intimate me. Can you see it now?
Yes, Mataji.
So this is what we have been seeing. As previously stated, both material and spiritual natures, being emanation from Supreme Personality of Godhead, are eternal. These are all certain new informations you may come across. That how material nature is also eternal. We saw 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita. So the Prakriti, the material world, is also eternal. So that 1 second. This is information one. The second is the living entities belong to the eternal superior nature of the Lord only, but there is a difference. Okay? There is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He never becomes contaminated with the matter. And Krishna has internal energy. She is also spiritual. That internal energy is every manifestation is spiritual. And it doesn't get contaminated by matter. Now Krishna's next energy is marginal energy. But the marginal energy gets contaminated by the inferior nature. There is a possibility of contaminated and we can become contamination. That is why their illusion is eternal. So naturally, the living entity is like a cat on the wall. It can live in spiritual nature, which is its original constitutional position. It can also live in matter. It is prone to become conditioned. There's a possibility. So the cat, when it is standing on a wall, it can jump this side or it can jump that side. Same way, the living entity has a choice. So sometimes the living entity chooses to live in matter. There is a possibility of living in matter, even though he is not matter. Because of this possibility, he is said to be eternally illusioned. Nitya Baddha. The Nitya Baddha, the word is used. Baddha means falling or mixing with matter. The character of mixing with matter is already available within the soul. But the choice is always there, whether he will mix or whether he will not mix. So he may mix. Like we have all chosen now. See, many spirit soul in the material world. Whatever bodies you see, grass, look at through a window how much grass you see. Thousands and millions of grass. In one city, in one place, you have this much. Then what about the whole world? How many plants, how many aquatics? How many microorganisms, germs, virus, germs, so small. Till that big animals in the forest and human population. Insects like ants, unlimited. They are all conditioned within this material world. Despite they are Satchidananda, they have the ability. Eternally, that character is there within them. They can live intermingling with the matter. Even though it is suffering for them, even though that is not their original nature, but still they have a choice. So that is why they are called Nitya Baddha. A conditioned soul is therefore called Nitya Baddha or eternally conditioned. Because that is the nature eternally. But they may choose, they may not choose. It's up to them to choose to live in the material world or to choose to live in the spiritual world. But once they have conditioned in the material world, it's very difficult to overcome. They have to find Krishna or a pure devotee and surrender to either one of them. Then there is a possibility of getting out. Krishna mentions that also after 2-3 slokas. Next 2 slokas are very important. After that, Krishna mentions that how surrendering and to a pure devotee, even a person who doesn't surrender to Krishna can get out of Maya. He's giving 2 choices. One is surrendering to Krishna Then he is telling the list of people who will not surrender to Krishna, and the list of people who will surrender to Krishna. But both these characters can surrender to Krishna by approaching a bona fide spiritual master. That is the concept in these 4 slokas. All the 5 slokas are important. 7.13 talks about how the living entity gets conditioned within the 3 modes. 7.14 talks about how surrendering to Krishna one can overcome Maya. 7.15 talks about 4 kinds of people who will not surrender to Krishna. 7.16 talks about 4 kinds of people who will surrender to Krishna. And 14, 15, 16, 17 talks about how both one who will surrender, bad people, good people, who will surrender to Krishna, don't surrender to Krishna. Any Tom, Dick and Harry comes across a pure devotee, spiritual master, then he has full hope to come out of this. It's a bunch of slokas, very, very important on the technique of getting out of the conditioning. This verse and the next 2 verses, all 3 will be your memory verses. So you need to understand the meaning thoroughly so that it will be easy for you to memorize. Okay. No one can trace out the history of his becoming conditioned at a certain date in material history. This is the question also yesterday Akashak Prabhu raised. The conditioned soul is therefore, so which is the date when the beginning always comes back. But Prabhupada is mentioning here, there is no trace in history because eternally character of falling is there in the marginal potency. Some choose to fall, some never choose to fall. And those who never choose to fall are called Nitya Siddha. Now the question is, how it is it? And when the spirit soul gets liberated once, he also kind of becomes Nitya Siddha. He associates with Nitya Siddha and becomes. Now, how it is possible? So this question, yesterday some question was asked, I was not very clear, but I know the question was about the day, the time he chose to fall into material world, like that. Some question like that. So there is no day a spirit soul picks up to fall into material world or something like that. You should understand the creation, there is no creation of the spirit soul because the spirit soul is eternally part and parcel of the Lord, ever existing within the Lord. Within the Lord means not merging. We are separated part and parcel of the Lord. Now, is the separated parts and parcel hanging around like that? No. They are all personalities. Nothing is impersonal. Nothing is impersonal. External energy, internal energy, marginal energy, every bit of marginal energy is a personality with a separate free will. The external energy also is a personality. Internal energy also is a personality. The impersonalism is illusion. Impersonalism itself is an illusion. So no one can trace the history of him becoming conditioned at a certain date in the material history. So spiritually, in spiritual world, at a particular point of time, he falls. The best example can be given. to some personalities like Jaya Vijaya. They were in the entrance of Vaikuntha, and when four Kumaras tries to enter, they say that no, because four Kumaras, they are impersonalist. Unless somebody develops a love for Krishna, they cannot enter into Vaikuntha planets, any spiritual planet. Goloka, Vaikuntha, everything. The qualification for entrance into those planets is developing love and affection for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When that is done with a great respect and awe and reverence, they enter into Vaikuntha planets. But when it is done with pure love, then they get qualified to enter into spiritual world. So it's not that a small spiritual spark will go, like in the movies they show. Small spiritual spark will go to Vaikuntha. No. By performing devotional service in this material world, we develop our transcendental senses. So our original constitutional body is recovered. And with that body only, we go to the spiritual world. So as we are all personality, either we will have a material form or we'll have a spiritual form. In both cases, we have a form. When you try to give up the material form without completely developing the spiritual form, then there is a great level of uneasiness of not able to perform. So activity is the symptom of the soul. Activity is the character of the soul. Liveliness comes from life. The spirit soul is full of life. It's called living entity. It's not dead matter to be inert, inactive, passive, static. This is actually impossible for the living entity. It's naturally active. So, staying in Brahmajyoti platform, giving up material body but not developed the spiritual body is the most uneasy situation for a spirit soul, and it is called a spiritual suicide. And it is impossible. Such suicide doesn't exist. So the spirit soul falls away back from the spiritual world, I mean in the Brahma Jyoti, back into material world and again acquires a material body. The question may arise, why can't it just continue and enter into spiritual world only? Unless you have a spiritual body, you cannot enter. Moreover, that body is developed out of the limbs of the body, is developed out of love of God. See how beautiful it is. The limb of the spiritual body, our original body, is regained by performing devotional service. That spiritual body is called Siddha Dega. So because the impersonalists have not developed that body, they don't have a qualification. Moreover, they have not fallen in love with the Lord. So they cannot enter into the spiritual planets. They hang around like ghosts in the spiritual sky and they feel very, very uncomfortable and very quickly they fall back. The example given by Srila Prabhupada in certain places in Bhagavatam and all, how the impersonalists cannot merge into the Brahman is like because they maintain every living entity maintains individuality. The individuality never dissolves into anything. The example is given by Prabhupada like a green tree is there. The tree is so green and there is a parrot. The parrot is also green. So the parrot is flying inside the tree. And from far away, it looks like as if the parrot is going and merging into the tree. It becomes camouflaged. And you won't be able to identify which is the parrot and which is the tree. and it's like merging. But actually seeing, the parrot never merged into the tree. It can anytime fly back. Anyway, for food and water and whatever it is, even to build a home, it need to fly out. Same way, nobody can merge into Brahmajyoti because everybody is an individual. Even when he arrives into the Brahmajyoti, he feels his individuality, and that inactiveness is making him feel uneasy. He comes back to this material world again, falls back. He cannot progress further because he is unqualified. So that is the case of the impersonalist. So the spirit soul is a personality. When you have that clear concept that there is nothing impersonal, then you won't have a difficulty in understanding what is Nitya Siddha devotees, what is Nitya Bhakta devotees. Nitya Bhakta spirit soul. So eternally, there is enviousness on Krishna to lord over. That character was there, and the character is removed by the association with the Nitya Siddha Bhakta. Then we also become Nitya Siddha. Now the question is, the Nitya Bhakta, Nitya means eternally conditioned. How the status can change because he is conditioned already. How Nitya, if a word Nitya is attached to something, that means it's permanent. But that Siddha, Bhakta became Siddha, how it is possible? The word Nitya is used to indicate that the spirit soul always have the tendency to fall, but it will never choose to fall. I gave you an example yesterday. We have completely given freedom in this world to choose what we eat. Once we have become devotee, before devotion, taking up to devotional service, many of you would have eaten some meat or egg or something like that. Now also, you have the possibility and availability of eating meat. But will you ever choose to eat meat? You will never. Even though the option is wide open. Same way, when somebody tastes the love of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is their natural constitutional position. And it is so comforting that they will never choose otherwise. Like Jaya Vijaya, they were standing outside the Vaikuntha planets. And then Lord wanted to have a good fight. They also were not into the Vaikuntha planet. They were only standing outside. They never had much personal interaction with the Lord. Due to some service, they have acquired that position. But when they fell down here, as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they have personal interaction with the Lord. Even if it is in the inimical way, they gave pleasure to the Lord by giving him a good fight. In every lifetime, the Lord is so pleased. And in the last life, the 3 life was over, they didn't go back. They were with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they came as Jagai and Madai. And that past time, they again tried to hurt Nityananda Prabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to kill them with the Sudarshan Chakra. But Nityananda Prabhu stopped him. And then after that, there was initiation ceremony. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked them to chant Hare Krishna and gave them initiation, and mainly gave them Krishna Prema. Because they got Krishna Prema, they can go into any planet. Why Vaikuntha planet? Why they need to be only in the entrance? If they want, they can continue in the entrance, but with full love of Godhead, they can even enter into Golaka. So Krishna Prema is the one which will keep you put. which will see to that you will never come down. Because sometimes I see very neophytes, they regularly say same question, same argument. They come to me and or any classes, I've seen them asking again and again. Krishna is telling once gone to the spiritual world, you won't return back. But Jaya Vijaya was there, they return back. And what is the guarantee we don't return back? Because they don't know that, first of all, we are personality. The spirit soul is not just a spark. Second, what it takes to enter into Goloka or whatever it is great love for Krishna. Once we have tasted Bhava and Prema, the person cannot taste anything else. He is already situated in his constitutional position. And even when he comes to the material world, he is unaffected. Like Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada, they come to save spirit souls. But they are unaffected with the material nature because they come here for service. So that is the concept, okay? Okay. So consequently, release from clutches of Maya is very difficult. Even though the material is inferior energy and the spirit soul is marginal energy, means inferior, marginal, so superior. So in one sense, the marginal energy is higher than inferior energy. Compared to Jada Prakriti, Jiva is higher. A living entity is superior in nature compared to the Jada or inert matter. But still, he is getting entangled or conditioned. How it becomes powerful? Then how it becomes powerful? Because actually we are more powerful. The body is looking active because of the spirit soul, not because of the matter. So we give life to the matter. Now the question is, if we are superior as marginal energy, how can the lower material energy, if you are superior as marginal energy, how can the inferior lower energy matter, material energy can overpower us? It is because material energy is conducted by the supreme will. Maya dikshena prakriti suyate chacharacharam. It's directly under the control of the supreme will of the Lord. See, only rebellious people are marginal energy only. The internal energy is also fully cooperative servant of the Lord. The external energy is also fully cooperative servant of the Lord. Marginal energy, majority is fully cooperative servants of the Lord. All the energies, a very, very little portion of the marginal energy becomes conditioned. So, the living marginal, the material energy is directly, obediently performing service under the supremacy of its master. She is very, very powerful. Whereas we have lost that connection with the Supreme, we become powerless. So the material energy is ultimately conducted by the supreme will of the Lord, which the living entity cannot overcome. Because now the living entity actually living entity can never be devoid of Krishna, but it wanted to be devoid of Krishna. Whereas material energy is obediently operating under the will of the Lord. That is why she gains the power to overcome us. So the inferior material nature is defined herein as divine nature. Due to its divine connection and movement by the divine will. So her obedience, the external energy is fully obedient to the Supreme Lord. So also she is divine. Like we say, Srila Prabhupada or Guru Maharaj is divine grace, is divine grace. The word divine is used when somebody is surrendered to the Lord. They got the mercy of the divine internal energy, they've got the blessings. So this word is used. Is divine grace. So the divine is Daivi Prakriti, transcendental spiritual energy. So material inferior energy is also mentioned divine, is because she is operating under the will of the Lord. She is not misusing her will like some conditioned soul in this material world. We have misused our free will to act against Krishna. We want to freely use our own free will for our own fulfilling our own desires, whereas she is not. So because of that, because of her connection, because of that, she is called divine. Being conducted by divine will, material nature, although inferior, acts so wonderfully in the construction and destruction of the cosmic manifestation. We are so serious about where we live, how we live. This is my mother, this is my father, this is my native place. This is me as a body. We cannot see beyond that. Very seriously working this project. So being conducted by the divine will, material nature, although inferior, acts so wonderfully. So she constructs and destructs this cosmic manifestation, where this fallen conditioned soul can execute their free will by the arrangement of the Lord. She provides the facility. By the arrangement of the Lord, she provides the facility for the conditioned soul to have an illusory representation, as if there is no God around. So it becomes a question or debate whether God is there or not. She's so smart to provide this environment. So the Vedas confirm this as follows. Mayam tu prakritim vidyam mayinam tu maheshwaram. Although Maya illusion is false and temporary, the background of Maya is the supreme magician, the personality of Godhead, who is Maheshwara, the supreme controller. So you can see the magic here, but there is a magician behind this magic. And that is Krishna. Sarvaloha Maheshwaram. The word Maheshwara is used. Another meaning, and here the guna is given, the three modes of material nature. It's very difficult to overcome. So it is like a rope. So the conditioned soul is tightly tied by the rope of illusion. There are many places this is mentioned as rope. Even karma bandha nibandhanam. Karma is also bandhana. Bandhana means tying a knot. Not one knot becomes another knot and another knot and another knot, another knot. Sometimes you have some thread or something, rope or thread. It becomes so entangled. The word entangled you can understand by using a rope. That is very difficult to remove the knots. So much entanglement that you cannot remove. Can any of you say has come across that situation? That impossible to remove the knots. It becomes so knotted, entangled, that it becomes more complicated and complicated. So you're not able to remove it. So what will be your last option? Can any of you say? What will be your last option?
Surrender to Krishna.
No, I'm asking a regular thread or a rope. It becomes so
To cut
entangled
that,
with it. Hmm?
to cut that rope, Mataji.
Take a scissors and cut it.
Yeah.
That's the only option left out at the end. Because it is so much bound. Same way, you do some good activity, you do some bad activity. You give and take from people and entangle with one person and another person, like hatred with another person, love with another person. Various relationships. Entanglement with mother, father, entanglement with the children, entanglement with the neighbor, entanglement with demigods. So much you have conditioned in various ways, desiring to achieve something. It is useless, of course, temporary. I'm keeping eating something and telling because I don't want to sleep. That is why. Kindly forgive me. So, what I was telling, yeah. So much entangled. So here, Prabhupada is giving this. Guna is actually the word guna also means rope. Triguna, three ropes. She's binding, material nature is binding us with the ropes. So it is to be understood that the conditioned soul is tightly tied in the ropes of illusion. A man bound by the hands and feet cannot free himself. So already, let us assume that your hands and legs are tied. A man is tied like that. Now another third person only can open. He himself cannot open. So sometimes there are how to questions. How to come out of Maya, how to do. And when we point out, you go to Guru, they think that, okay, we are fanatic. You're telling everything, you go to Guru Maharaj or pray to Guru Maharaj or depend on Guru Maharaj or follow the instruction of Guru. So when we say this, it is 100% from scriptures. It is not just out of some sentimental value. Of course, it has some sentiment, affection, love. But it is authorized everywhere. It is not authorized in the book. That is the only direction shown in the book. So when we keep reading Srila Prabhupada's book, we end up with Guru Maharaj. We end up with spiritual master. See this, how nicely Prabhupada is presenting here. Another meaning for guna is rope, and it is to be understood that the conditioned soul is tightly tied by the rope of illusion. A man bound by the hands and feet cannot free himself. He must be helped by a person who is unbound. A liberated person who is not bound by the rope. Because the bound cannot help the bound. Already another person, sometimes they say counselor, you approach your counselor, he will give you solution. No, he is also bound. How a person who is bound already can unbind another person? Sometimes some people, they are also new to Krishna consciousness, they take up 2-3 years. Sometimes they are initiated, sometimes non-initiated also. They don't have a guru. And they become the so-called Siksha Guru. So the word guru, how it can be applied, very surprising. How a person who is not initiated. And he is called, who is your Siksha Guru? Some Prabhu, some Rajshekhar Prabhu is my, okay, what is his initiated name? No initiation. But he is my Siksha Guru. So this man itself is blind and he is guiding the blind. A blind, can he guide a blind? Yes, little bit. Maybe this blind man has gone into a gutter. He has fallen into the gutter. So when the other blind man goes, hey, in that side there is a gutter. He can say that much, but not helping fully. The word guru, Siksha Guru, this word cannot be used so cheaply. Now anywhere and everywhere the Siksha Guru concept is going on. The biggest comedy. Even to give Siksha, there is a qualification. So a man bound by the hand and feet cannot free himself. He must be helped by a person who is unbound. And There is one more word Prabhupada is telling, because the bound cannot help the bound. This guy is also bound with the 3 modes. He doesn't have a spiritual master. He comes to untie the other guy. Very, very neophytes. As soon as they know some little bit about Krishna consciousness, they immediately think, okay, I'll become Siksha Guru of the entire world. Social media is open. And that. No, we should be very careful. Will I be able to liberate or release this person from material bondage? Or you have to take him to a person who can relieve him from material bondage. And that is spiritual master. So, because the bound cannot help the bound, the rescuer must be liberated person. So ask the guy, are you liberated? Whoever is telling themselves to be Siksha Guru. Ask them, are you liberated already? Tatvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. They expect service. They give orders. They say that I'm engaging you in Krishna consciousness. Okay, fine. Very nice you're engaging me in Krishna consciousness. But have you seen Krishna? Or are you authorizedly initiated? Are you serving a pure devotee spiritual master? If you are serving a pure devotee spiritual master, I can play along. Nothing wrong. And it should be obvious. So because the bound cannot help the bound, the rescuer must be liberated. Therefore, only Lord Krishna or his bona fide representative, the spiritual master, can release the conditioned soul. Either Krishna or the spiritual master. Now, as Krishna was present during Arjuna's time, he was very fortunate. We are very fortunate because Prabhupada came. He started this. Now we have Guru Maharaj also. Such pure devotee spiritual masters who are given the Acharya Parampara, they are there to release the conditioned soul. So, without such superior help, sometimes they say, when I say that you approach spiritual master, no, Guru Maharaj is very busy. So I don't want to, I feel uneasy to go to Guru Maharaj. Okay. You don't go and tell every small thing. They say that, no, I prefer to talk with that Prabhu. This Prabhu, they're all neophytes. Whom they are talking are all neophytes. That neophyte is Prabhu is better. Why? Because he is hearing me for 2 hours, 3 hours, I'm able to talk to him. 2 hours, 3 hours, I'm explaining all my problems. And he's patiently sitting and listening to it. So whoever is the guide, the guide is guiding 4 people, and each of the 4 person is talking 2 hours, 3 hours about his problem. The guide has a problem with his Sravanam problem. The guide is supposed to hear Krishna Katha, Karma Katha. Here 2 hours, 3 hours. Everybody has a story to tell. The story is how he has got entangled in the knot. My knot is like this, my knot is black color thread, and this is like this, and another person yellow and black thread, and this and that knot is coming like this, and this rope is going like this, and this rope is going like this, and this. How much will you research on each one's history? And it gets on the head. Whatever you hear, that is your consciousness. Hearing is, Ravanam is the cross process of devotional service. Devotional service has to be performed to the Supreme Lord. This katha, that katha, Gramya katha, A person's katha, B person's katha, C person's katha, D person's katha. Patiently listening 3 hours, 4 hours. I feel comfortable. No, you need not tell your story to Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj already knows your story. You are a spirit soul, eternal part and parcel of Krishna. You have forgotten Krishna. You fall into the material world and seriously thinking you are the body, bodily entanglements, bodily problems, bodily whatever you have around you. All those are part of the mess. You are in a great mess. That he knows very clearly. Without you explaining itself, he knows. And he doesn't want to get inside the ditch to clean. You want him to get inside the ditch and clean the ditch for you to live again like a pig inside the ditch. There may be some very person who is soothing to you, may get inside the ditch and he may enjoy a swim in the ditch. But Guru Maharaj can just pick you up from the ditch and clean you up and make you stay outside. You're no more a pig, he can make you a human being by taking you out of the ditch. So just because you feel a mental massage, or somebody is getting inside the ditch and they are knowing that, yes, I understand, I am putting myself into your shoes. Why you have to put a preacher, why he has to put himself in the shoes of a person who is not a devotee or who is trying to become a devotee, who is not initiated, not committed in Krishna consciousness. Not initiated means there is no commitment. He is not a devotee only. He is trying to be a devotee, that's all. No qualification. Commitment is mandatory. So that is not the way it works. Spiritual master picks you up from the dirt and cleans you. Cheto darpanam arjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam. Paramvityate Sri Krishna Sankirtana. Krishna Sankirtana is given by spiritual master during initiation. That is the authorized Harinam. So, without the superior help, one cannot be freed from the bondage of material nature. So, devotional service or Krishna consciousness. So, this help is coming as devotional service or Krishna consciousness can help one to gain such release. So, either spiritual master or Krishna. Krishna being the Lord of the illusory energy can order the insurmountable energy to release the conditioned soul. So, Krishna can tell to Maya, just leave him. So, thus, the best example is given. Prabhupada gives that how you try to enter a house, there is a dog which is barking at you, but the owner is telling, hey, keep quiet. Then the dog will understand this, especially that is possible only when you are a friend of the owner. When you are a friend of a owner, already if the dog knows, it will shake its tail. Or if you are a new person coming, then the dog will bark and try to bite you. And when the dog sees that you're talking very nicely with the owner, you're having a very good relationship with the owner, then what the dog will do? It will shake the tail and become friendly. Same way the Maya is chasing, trying to bite you all over. And great difficulty, mental torture, physical torture, so much problems. Ati Bhaudika Klesha, Adi Atmika, Adi Devika Klesha. Klesha, so many irritations in all directions. Mental stress, so much. But when Krishna says, just don't do it, that's all, it will not be done. When will Krishna say that? When he knows that you are his friend and devotee. Then Krishna will say, the dog will not bark, it will not bite. Anytime you go, it will wave his tail and it will just come with you. You can be with the master always. He knows that he is coming to meet my master, he is my friend of my master, not enemy. So this is very important, how to get out of Maya. When she notices that you are sincerely serving Krishna, automatically she becomes subdued. Especially acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj and all, they follow the principle of Yukta Vairagya, utilizing everything in the service of Krishna. So when every material thing is also utilized in the service of Krishna, she becomes so happy because her master is Krishna only. So she is creating many items in this world. Everybody uses for their sense gratification and it's a great pain. So she gives a lot of punishment to them. But when she sees a devotee using everything in the service of Krishna, she is very pleased that her existence also becoming useful. Whatever I created in this world, that is also becoming useful. So she is very happy, she is pleased. So for that particular reason, she will not disturb the devotee. So this is called Yukta Vairagya, accepting everything in the mode of renunciation. It is not for our personal sense gratification, but it is for the service of the Lord. So he orders his release out of his costless mercy. One more example that's also given. When the king, he comes into the material world. Sorry, when a king, on his birthday or something, he'll go to the jail. And he'll say that, okay, today I'll release the prisoners, even though their tenure of sentence is not over. Still they can come out because of special mercy of the king. Same way, King Krishna, of course, he descends here. And whenever he is coming, descending as avatars, while going back, he is taking many, many people outside of this material world with him because they become attached to him. Otherwise, also, if Krishna thinks, he can release the conditioned soul. So, devotional service or Krishna consciousness can help one gain such release. Krishna, being the Lord of illusory energy, can order the insurmountable energy to release the conditioned soul. He orders this release out of his costless mercy on the surrendered soul, out of his paternal affection for the living entity, like a father, parent. His affection is like a parent for the surrendered living entity, originally beloved son of the Lord. Actually, we are sons of the Lord because we are part and parcel. How? A child is a part and parcel of the father, right? He came out of the father's semen, brought up in the mother's womb. So technically speaking, that father is the source of this body, even considering as body. So as spirit soul, we are part and parcel of Krishna. So naturally, we are children of Krishna. Krishna is the supreme father. So out of the parental affection, he releases the surrendered soul. Only when they surrender, they get the possibility to get out of the Maya. Therefore, surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord is the only means. Even spiritual master, he teaches the art of surrendering to Krishna. You approach as a spiritual master without Krishna, or without, when the spiritual master gives you instructions to love Krishna, to serve Krishna, you're not loving Krishna or serving Krishna, then you're not utilizing the facility given by the spiritual master. Even spiritual master cannot save you. Because the duty of the spiritual master is to engage the disciple in the service of Krishna. Many people will say that I am engaging you in the service of Krishna. There is many temples, no? Tata Mandir, Birla Mandir, Gay Mandir. Anybody can build. If they understand Radha Krishna temple is a business, they will start building as much as possible. Wherever they can multiply the money, the investors go there. But it won't work out. It's not everybody is behind Radha and Krishna. Or whichever famous temples like Jagannath Puri, Tirupati, everything is built by Acharya. Some Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Srila Prabhupada. Why ISKCON temples are so famous? Not because there is Jagannath. 5,000 years there was only Jagannath temples. Why there is no so much crowd? Till ISKCON didn't come out of with Rath Yatra, there was no Rath Yatra as famous. Only Puri. Puri was established by Brahma. He is also Acharya in our Parampara. Puri temple is so famous till today. How many thousands of years it is famous? It is the Acharya or the pure devotee who brings So, brings everybody to the lotus feet of Krishna in an authorized way so that the formula works. They know the formula, how it works. Not any Tom, Dick and Harry saying that, okay, I also take you to Krishna. I'll teach you Krishna Bhakti. I'm not initiated, that's all right. You cannot even spread the Krishna consciousness because your consciousness not updated. Commitment or linking to the chain of disciplic succession is essential to be an acharya or a preacher. You must be linked authoritatively to the chain of disciplic succession. During the initiation process, we also get attached to the chain of disciplic succession. Like when somebody asks our identity, he can say, I'm the disciple of somebody X, and he is the disciple of him, and he is the disciple of him, he is the disciple. I'm the disciple of Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj. I have a guru, I am disciple. My guru is the disciple of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada's guru is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And his guru, then Brahma. We call Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Madhvacharya, Brahma, then Krishna. In this way, we get connected to Krishna. Authoritatively, under the fire yajna, name change, formality. This formal is essential. So to get out of the Maya, therefore surrender unto the then Guru will guide with Krishna. It's like the train goes in the two rails, right? With having a single track, train track has two iron rods running across, two wheels will be there on both sides. The train will run there. Same way, mercy of Krishna and mercy of Guru, both are essential. What is mercy of Guru? Mercy of Guru is engaging you in the service of Krishna is the mercy of Guru. And if you cannot understand that, you are lost it. So the Guru's duty is to engage the disciple in the service of Krishna. That is the duty of the Guru. The duty of the disciple is to take shelter of the spiritual master, understand properly how to serve Krishna, and then serve Krishna under the direction of the spiritual master. Okay. So the word mameva. So here mameva yi prabatyante mayam etam tarantite. Mam eva is also very significant. Eva means only. Mam means me. So here Krishna is telling me, only me. Mam eva ye. Nobody else can save you other than Krishna from this material existence. Nobody else. So he's called Mukunda. So here Prabhupada is mentioning the word Mameva is also significant. Mam means unto Vishnu only, not Brahma or Shiva. Not even the great personalities in this universe, if you search, other personalities, Brahma and Shiva will come. Even they cannot. Although Brahma and Shiva are greatly elevated and are almost on the level of Vishnu, they have characteristics or qualities. More than 60%, 70% qualities they have. But it is not possible for such an incarnation of Rajoguna and Tamoguna to release the conditioned soul from the clutches of Maya. They cannot release. Only Mukunda can give mukti. No one else. The word Mukunda means one who awards mukti. In other words, Lord Brahma and Shiva are also under the influence of Maya. Only Vishnu is the master of Maya. So only Vishnu is the master of Maya. Therefore, he alone can give release to the conditioned soul. Eva. Eva means only. So Mameva yi prabatyante mayam. So only if you surrender unto me. Surrender unto only me. So Krishna is telling only me. So the Vedas confirm this in the phrase Tam eva viditva, or freedom is, there is Shvetatvara Upanishad is there, freedom possible only by understanding Krishna. Even Lord Shiva affirms that liberation cannot be achieved. Shiva is also confirming. Many places in Bhagavatam, so many places, wherever Lord Shiva appears, he is informing that liberation can be achieved only by the mercy of Vishnu. Lord Shiva says that. So there is a very nice sloka also. You can see that. Mukti pradata sarvesham Vishnur evana samshayaha. Don't have doubt. Samshaya means doubt. Don't have doubt. Vishnur eva mukti pradata. Datta means the one who awards, gifts, donates. So who donates mukti? Mukti pradata sarvesham Vishnur eva. For everybody can liberate. Only one person can give liberation to everyone. That is Vishnu. There is no doubt that Vishnu is the deliverer of liberation for everyone. So no doubt in this. Samshaya, na samshaya. So Shiva tells one other very nice verse. This sloka is very famous, especially in South India. Most of them knows this. Shiva is telling to Parvati, Sri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatvalyam Sri Rama Nama Varanani. So, it's telling that Parvati, Manorama means Parvati. Rama, the word Rama, Sambhu Brahma, Marapati Ganesh, Sarchidapadav, Jagannatha Swami, Nayanapataka. We are saying Nayanapataka Bhavatame like that. So, Rama is Parvati Devi. So, Ramanama Varanani. So, 1000 Vishnu Namas, Sahasranama Tatvalyam. There is a Sahasranama, Vishnu Sahasranama. People like to chant this Vishnu Sahasranama. There's 1000 names of Vishnu is equal to one Ramanama. Sri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatvalyam Sri Ramanama. In the same way, many people say that if we go to Kasi, we'll get mukti at the time of death. If we die in Kasi, there is mukti. So how mukti is coming in Kasi? There is a secret. Anybody who dies in Kasi, Shiva says, the holy name Rama is Taraka Mantra. So what he does is when somebody dies in Kasi, immediately goes, when the person is dying, he knows. And they're dying in the bank of river Ganges, that itself is very glorious. And goes to the ear as a Vaishnava. Like me, when somebody is telling my mother is very, very serious, Prabhu, she may pass away, father is. Then immediately we take a Mridanga and Karatal, we rush to the place and we chant Hare Krishna for them and liberate them. Same way, Shiva is so smart. Whoever is dying in Kasi, that is, he immediately runs to their ear and starts chanting Rama, 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 Rama. So like that. So in Kasi, anybody dies when they are taking the dead body and going to the Ganga Ghat. Everybody chants Ram Nam Satya Hai, Ram Nam Satya Hai. Means Ramanama is truth, it will work like that. So, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can get very liberated very easily. Surrendering unto the Krishna can be exhibited by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra regularly. Chanting the holy name of the Lord is non-different from connecting with the Lord. That will liberate a person from the material clutches of Maya. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments? This is the only sloka we are going to handle today, because we have very, very big, hectic 2 different slokas. Tomorrow, day after, or tomorrow itself we'll see 1 or 2. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. There are no questions or comments. We end here. Who is present? Who is absent? Disha. is absent. Who else? Okay. Sumedha is there? Sumedha is okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Kana. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Let us offer our loving, respectful obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are like desire trees who can fulfill all the desires of all conditioned souls. Thank you. I would like to offer obeisances to all the people here also who are chanting 16 rounds, following all the principles and seeking Krishna conscious very seriously, and to all the Vaishnava devotees who are in anywhere in the world, and also in our Acharya Parampara, Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Let's offer obeisances. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो
Srila
नमः।
Prabhupada ki jai,
जय
Guru Maharaj ki jai,
जय
Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari.
हरि